Hello Luke, we are live finally. My laptop may have died a bit. How are you? Hello Luke. Hello Alex, and I've forgotten to mute the telly and now we're going to get echo. Where's the mute button? There we go. Hello Luke, how are you? Hello Alex, how are you? This is going so well already. I am good tar. I was moving the bottle of generic red label black fizzy liquid into a position I could get it easier with my chair here. Right. So, shall we start off by doing a bit more on the brake van? Or shall we get straight on and look at this layout plan? Because we will be doing both regardless. I don't think there's a correct way to orientate generic black fizzy liquid without seeing the name. Luke doesn't mind what we do. Well, my thinking was if I get on and do a bit more of the brake van first and give people a chance to show up, although we are now reading 4 viewers, so I'm going to grab the layout, why not? And try and not take out my microphone here. And we have a layout that fits on the workbench. Oh no, dead dock shunters, they're not good. So it's a relatively simple layout plan. The rear road is the fiddle yard entrance, coming straight out into a set of points. This road ends at a buffer stop and is for a shunter. Yeah, the manoeuvring had to be done like that as my microphone sits just off shot in this corner here. So I would have taken it out. So anyway, the idea is loco and train come in, train of wagons gets left there, loco can run round, shunt them into this siding and then disappear again. The shunting loco can come out of this siding and we have a standard 533 inglenook for it to play with. And so obviously the long-term aim of this layout is it will be built on stream. Probably with slightly better setup camera than this, but you know, we've not got that far yet. My first track plan had some issues with it, such as a point being across the baseboard join. This one was redone for me by Linny, Very much appreciated. Very much better design. Although it does have a double slip in it, so that's quite expensive. And of course, it is going to be a London, Brighton and South Coast layout. It is going to be a quarry. The South Park quarry, which a certain Mr. Sem... Ah, hello, Mr. Moderator, sir. Keep an eye on that chat. How are you, Mr. Moderator? Yes, as I was saying, the quarry that was actually added to the plan for the Oak Hill branch by a certain Mr. Sem, way back when he was new to RMWeb. So, yet another layout caused by him. So yes, I'd like to hear what everyone thinks of it. Strategically timed drink so I can see whereabouts in how far back the lag is. I'll take that as a compliment, Luke. But I've seen you run trains, and this one certainly hasn't done that yet. Can say they're baseboards for this, made by Scale Model Scenery, and they are excellent laser cut baseboards, practically built themselves. I mean, they needed a little glue and a little help from me, but they slot together brilliantly. Can definitely recommend, if you are getting baseboards, to get their laser cut baseboards. Still not sponsored, but they were good enough that they're getting a name plug. Well, yeah, hopefully with this layout, when it's done, I'll be able to take it to shows and let some kids do some shunting on it, because the hobby needs more kids. I've seen them run in the past though, Luke. Yeah, your layouts have got far enough that they run, and then you get bored of them and rip them up. I know someone else that does that, don't I, Mr. Moderator? Thank you, sir. They are excellent baseboards. The next step for this will be, you know, I've got a track plan now, but I've no idea how I'm going to scenic it yet. Yes, I know you'll be building a new one, Luke. Now that's how far behind the lag is, by the way. I've just seen that comment. Yes, Luke, very good with scenery. Yes, well, I mean, that is kind of the plan. This is going to be the stream layout, so I want input from everyone with what to do with it and how to make it look good. I've already had some ideas from some people, but I'd like ideas from you lot as well. There's only so much talking about a layout with nothing going on screen that I can do. So I'm going to put this away for now and we'll get on with some breakdown building for a bit. Those 3 letters shall come nowhere near it. If you weren't the moderator, I'd ask the moderator to remove your posts. And there's the microphone. As I said, just off screen. Oh look, you got to see my arm really well there. As I scraped the microphone and hit the camera. Well, yes, okay, Luke, the letter R will go near it because, amazingly, yes, it is going to have a railway, being a model railway. Up to 6 viewers, I see. This makes me happy. Have we got anyone else there that would care to say hello? I mean, I've got nothing against the Great Eastern League, and in fact, I probably have reason to have some Great Eastern stuff on another layout, but that's for another day. I'm planning some Midland stuff at the moment, because reasons. But no Great Eastern plans yet. And no one claiming to be great from any other side of the country. Yeah, do as the moderator says. Smash that like button because you like it. You do. It's awesome. We totaled 66 views on last week's stream and 8 likes. That's. I mean, I'm happy with that. I'd be happy with 8 views, but there we go. That's just me. Ah, hello, Mr. Turbo Snail. You continue to lurk quietly. I rather enjoyed seeing my name plugged on your thread last week, so thank you for that. The average Western Railway. Yeah, much more accurate. So do we have any projects going on at the moment, anyone? I assume Mr. Turbo Snail is sat working on something right now, as he was last week. Meanwhile, I have done no modelling since last week's stream, except for putting some baseboards together in preparation for this week's stream. These are the other end, so will be the same as this. Just getting the basic shapes cut out first, and then I'm going to work on the details for them. And then we will have all four sides. Oh, two Deltics. I don't remember you mentioning those, Luke. And I'm sure you'll get the dock shunter fixed. Conrods. Yes, I can see them being an issue. I've never actually built my own chassis. I really must get one of your kits at some point. Oh, hello Harry Underhill. What a very nice class to be working on. Is that from the Golden Arrow kit? I've never said I'm not interested in your diesels, Luke. I just rib you for owning them. Because who would want diesels? Oh, excellent. Is it a good kit, that one? I have been eyeing them up myself to do both the J1 and the J2 at some point in the future. And Alex, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with your driving. Oh, thank God for that. I thought the laptop had turned itself off there. I am currently using my daughter's laptop, which I stole off her about 5 minutes before the stream. Because my one has died. I do rib everyone equally, Mr. Lancaster, yes. And some people even ribbed me back. But yes, anyway, the laptop had just turned the screen off because it's been sat idle for a while. It hadn't died, thankfully. You're right, I will insist on modelling the LBSCR. Some of us have to model good railways. The world would be boring if we all had Great Westernitis. Yes, Luke. I mean, not right this second, because I'm kind of busy hosting a stream. But yes, I would like to see your diesel stuff. I enjoy your modelling. Blown the pistons, Alex. What are you driving? Sounds like a car I used to have. Oh god, we've reached a point where the tape is giving up and pulling everything off with it. It wouldn't be payback for when I made your phone go off during stream, because I am streaming with my phone and with a microphone and everything plugged into it, so it's not going to vibrate, it's not going to do anything. What did I do to the car to make it blow one of its pistons? It was a terrible car, Luke. That was it. It was an appalling piece of machinery. It was a Ford Fiesta, 1997. And I was just driving home from my mum's one day when the piston decided it didn't like being inside the cylinder anymore. Bit of tape will not stick to the plastic, or the paper will stick to me. Brilliant. You know what, Luke? You'd never believe this, but I drove the thing home. In fact, I drove it round for a few more months with only 3 cylinders. I've had some terrible cars in the past. You could certainly hear that one coming. Because one of the cylinders was a hole. But anyway, Alex, I asked what you were driving that you've blown the cylinders on. Did I go through that one? I did. Oh, 7 viewers. I like these numbers. Thank you for coming, everyone. Yes, Luke, I drove a Fiesta with 3 cylinders. And it was only a 1 litre engine to start with. I mean, find me a Fiesta that isn't broken, especially of that vintage. They were not the best cars in the world. Gary does understatements. Oh, come on, I told you all about my blown cylinder, blown pistons and stuff in my car that I clearly loved dearly, can't you tell? Yes, interwebs problems. What you should have done was call a really good company who can provide non-BT internet connections. I don't know, maybe something like satellite. And they have a van with a dish on the roof that can drive up and provide internet anywhere in Europe. That would have solved your internet problems. If only I could think of someone who owned such a company. Self-promotion count as advertising? You can't see me working, so you can't. I'm looking at the screen, yes. Is it better now that I'm back on the glass? I was just cutting out the windows. And I need to clean the residue off. Yeah, loads of rusty transits and a very, very rusty bus. It's good company though. I hear their transits have the best rust. And the bus definitely isn't made of rust or anything, and was totally a worthwhile purchase. And there goes my screen again. Yeah, quality Dagenham rot. Only the best. It could be worse though, Luke. The transits aren't Leylands. Unlike the bus. The bus very much is a British Leyland. I think they rolled out the factory rusty. At least the transits weren't rusty at some point in their life. And now, back of the knife on the boards again. Don't want you forgetting how to do this. They've not been Leyland for a long time, Luke. The reason you don't see anything driving around with the Leyland van on it. Yeah, Volvo bought Leyland buses. Way back in 92. My bus claims to be newer than that, but it does have parts in it that are stamped Leyland, so it's not as new as it claims. But of course it was originally an Irish bus, so what to make of the date of registration with the DVLA, I don't know. Don't know if that's its original registration date or the date it was imported to the UK and registered on their database. So we're half an hour in, we've had a first look at the layout, we can bring that back out again in a while if people want to see it again, if anyone new shows up, and we also have the planking done on our first bit of the brake van. We will get this finished tonight. I am determined. But first we need to cut out some more bits for this side. Because of course with this layout I don't just intend on building the layout on stream. I intend on building every bit of stock that will run on it on stream. It really will be everything built here. I've not seen any scratch building from any of my viewers yet who tell me they're going to scratch build. You can do it. Trust me, if I can do it, you can. It's not hard. I hope they are, Lanky. I hope they do inspire people. That has been my goal with every bit of modelling I have ever put on the internet, is to inspire people. No tools. I do know the story with your planned kit build. That's not scratch building. And tools, Alex. I mean, get a knife from Poundland. Oh, scratch building a cab for the J class. Is the one that it comes with not very good then? Aye, the book is good, is it? I'm glad to hear that. I haven't ordered a copy yet, but... I probably will. Ah! Alex, I would suggest ways of making £1, but this is a PG stream. I'll let you off then, Mr. Lancaster. Yeah, empty box for a cab. That's not great, is it? Even my scratch-built L has a proper cab. Currently with the roof removable so that I can add a crew to it at some point. Bus fares? You mean you go out places? How disgraceful. It's good when I suggest something and then get to see the comments come through when you lot hear it. You could do the brake vans for that, Mr. Lancaster. Get on with it. There goes the laptop shutting off again. It must be on a 15-minute inactivity for the screen. This is what happens when you steal your daughter's laptop at the last minute and don't have time to configure anything. I mean, it proves one thing. I wasn't joking about the state of my laptop last week. I mean, Luke, can you once upon a time you told me you were good at research. 31 miles an hour. I mean, that's speeding on most roads. You still need to tell us what you're doing it on. Not in, even. Don, I promise I won't tell anyone. You just type it in stream chat. I won't tell anyone. No, I'm not that sort of guy. I wouldn't want to ruin it. Is that like the sensor that filters out the year you were born because a certain singer trademarked it, Alex? You know what? You're probably right, Mr. Lancaster, after his tweet earlier. You're the one that tweeted it, Alex, no one else. I didn't even make an actual witty remark on the tweet because I couldn't think of one. You love the Glasgow and South Western Railway, do you, Alex? Is that it? Is that what you mean? Not the preserved line, the Glasgow and South Western. You got the S and the W the wrong way round. But it's okay, I understand that. Apparently I have problems with this typing thing as well. A bit modern, that merchant navy. At least it comes from the right part of the country, though. It can't help being young. I don't know if you remember what a merchant navy is, Luke. Remember, it's an improved A4. Most of the pointless gimmicks removed. by the man who did the hard work. And you say I rip you for having diesels. Ooh, those 150 books are good. They're full of information from what I understand. I know someone who's got the full set. No, you don't get to time me out. It's not my fault Mr. Bully did all the hard work at the LNER. Oh, brilliant, a £5. I mean, you've got the two best ones to have the books of now. Do you even need the other two? I feel if I keep making these comments, someone's going to lynch me. Oh, do I want to take the mick out of you for anything else? Is that like giving me permission? Because I'm sure I can think of something. What car was it you drive again? Yeah, that's it, a Punto, yeah. Well, I mean, of all the cars. Fix it again tomorrow, eh, Luke? Someone has to like a Punto. I don't think I've ever had a Fiat Punto. Probably for the best. And get the bit that I didn't forget for a change last week. Didn't forget this week either. I'm doing well. Where's my blue tack? Glad someone will have my back in the event of a lynching. I mean, it would probably be a deserved lynching. So, for those that don't remember, because of how I do my drawings to full scale, because I don't know what size of plastic card I'm going to be using at the time, on these I need to reduce them each side by the width of the walls, so that they can sit nicely together, overlapping. So I just put a bit of the same thickness plastic card on the end, mark them up, and then I can cut that off. You haven't driven it yet, so how do you know the cigarette lighter's the only thing that doesn't work? And if when you get to the end of the road and discover the brakes don't work, you've got a problem. Should probably test them before you get to the end of the road. That's also an actual bit of advice, by the way, Luke. Make sure you test your brakes before you actually need them. It's weird looking at the telly and seeing what I'm up to. Right. We're nearly done with the fourth wall. But I'm sure I broke that ages ago by talking to you lot. Aha, TV references. Yeah, rapido couplings are pretty terrible. I mean, honestly, rapido couplings are worse than these. At least these work like they're meant to. IPA! For those that don't remember what I use to clean the rubbish off. It's not usually IPA, but it worked last week and I couldn't be bothered to find the acetone. Tell you what, I get some funny looks buying acetone. Because if you don't know, the best way to get acetone is nail varnish remover. So I, as a single man, walk into Tesco and buy lots of nail varnish remover. I get some really funny looks. No, it's not fair to call them the worst coupling system in existence, Luke. I mean, imagine, for example, the madness that could be if someone wanted to put, say, KDs on British stock. That would be terrible. Unless, of course, the stock in question did actually have KDs, but, you know, in the earlier days that wasn't very common. Right, we'll go with the same place again and dunk loads of things in the glue like we did last week. Oh, did I see some lag? And was it during my rant about people wanting to put KDs on their British steam stock? Don't want to touch the super glue. It is, isn't it, Alex? Utter madness. I can't imagine why anyone would want to do that to British steam era stock. Yes, Mr. Moderator. I will make no promises about whether I put my ruler in my super glue at some point this evening or not. That slipped. Awesome, that's just what we wanted to happen. That looks okay. I could put the ruler in it now to save us all waiting to see if I do it by accident later. So there is a reason it's missing most of its numbers on both sides. Okay, the inches aren't quite as bad, but they have all been taken off by super glue. So we have 4 walls. Well, hey. Next thing to do is to cut out some ribs for the roof. We don't actually need this many. On the, as I did with the last one, I'll have the wall at each end supporting the roof, and then I'll put a rib at every interval. So we will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did have to count that to know that it was 5. Well, I'd know how interesting it was going to be if you told me what it is you're trying to stop. Because some things are quite easy to stop. I mean, for all I know, you're just running really fast. I had to count that as well. Even though I remember putting 10 on the drawing. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. I don't actually want to cut these right at the bottom of the rib, I want to cut them slightly below. Oh look, there goes chat off the screen again. Wooden brake, that makes it old. Terriers had wooden brakes, and I can't see any reason anyone would want anything else with wooden brake, or anything else at all for that matter, because we all know terriers are the best loco. And if you don't agree with me, I've got 8 of them sitting behind me that will come and fight you. They're an aggressive bunch, don't ask me. It's not my fault. Oh, good. Double-sided tape is giving out on us already. Don't you love it when that happens? I probably shouldn't have used the really old roll of double-sided tape I found. NER 1001, there's an ugly looking loco. What? Who said that? I knew it wouldn't actually be a terrier. That's a very good point you make there, Luke. Wooden brakes, not known for their ability to brake. Oh, it appears there's some super glue on the glass because I just stuck my finger to it. But that's why we use glass. Now there is no super glue. Oh, I don't know what TV series and what terrier you could be on about, Luke. Not at all. But I do believe you'll find I have recreated scenes from that before. Well, recreated things from it. Oh look, there goes my double-sided tape. Look. Oak Hill is still set up to resemble Sheffield Park sheds with Bluebell going away after being withdrawn at the moment. Picture on my Twitter feed for those that missed it. Should probably add links and stuff to that in the description for this. And talking of links, we're making a website for all this as well. All the drawings I do will be available on there for download. Plans for layouts will be available on there. I'll probably have a thing where you can ask me about what I do and how I do it. I might even put some tools on there that I recommend. And if you have any other ideas for things I could put on that website, do let me know. Because it may or may not already exist. Yes, Harry, all my drawings I do are to scale. The ones I have done for this, because this brake van and the previous one I did, which is there, that one has actually been put up against, not only against drawings, but also against a... well, who is it that makes the brass kit of these? Roxy Mouldings kits. Matches perfectly. All the drawings I do will be fully to scale. And so they can be just downloaded and printed by whoever, because I'm, you know, that's how I do things. I'm not in this to make money out of it. I'm in this to help people learn about modelling and give it a go themselves. I mean, I don't know what I could say about panniers, to be honest, Mr. Moderator. One day someone... That's okay, Harry. I will hopefully have some actual content up there at some point this week. The template is up already, so people can go and look at it. It's at oakhillmodelrailway.co.uk, and there it shall remain. But I only actually started work on that last night, so it's not particularly advanced yet. In the meantime, if you want the drawings, find me over on Twitter, drop me a DM and with your email address, and I can email you over a PDF. But yes, anyway, Mr. Moderator, I don't know what I could say about panniers. One day someone designed a tank engine, it looked like this. The only change they made for the next million years was to add a cab to it. There was only one type of pannier ever made, they're all 5700s. Every single one of them is a 5700. And people only like them because of duck. Other than that, they were completely normal, everyday engines that no one cared about. But then Duck came along and was added to a TV series made famous by an engine from a proper railway. Excellent, Harry. I'm glad to have helped. Oh no, the moderator is leaving us. Quick, now's the time to misbehave. What? Who said that? Mr. Moderator doesn't do web coding, Luke. That's my speciality. Right, 10 past 10, we've got 4 sides and almost all the roof ribs. No, Luke, there's no such thing as a 6400. You're thinking of the 5700. All panniers are 5700s. I don't see how anyone can get confused by that. They're all the same. Oh, an interesting phone call, was it? Seemed to be very quick for an interesting phone call. Don't you have to pay for those interesting phone calls? I thought they were all like premium rate. What? PG? Yeah, that's what I said. It's a PG stream, behave. This is the one that will be hard. Now that sounds like a great phone call, the sort of phone call I would love, Mr. Moderator. However, I know for a fact you won't. You've done this having logos and stock from other people as a job lot. It doesn't work for you. And that is my honest advice on the matter. I really do wave my hands about a lot, don't I? Interestingly, when I'm doing this, I'm actually pointing at the laptop screen. Which is funny, because I look at the laptop screen when I'm talking to you and my microphone's on the other side of me. I should probably do something about that at some point. You say that now, but I know what you're like. Well, we've been through this one. Right, we have 4 walls, we have 5 roof supports. We almost have a brake van body. So I do need to do something extra to these. I need to nip off their side. Okay, I should be back now. I'm hoping I'm back now. Let's wait for the lag to catch up so I can see. Oh, hey, I appear to be back. Well, the good news is it definitely wasn't that my phone charger fell out and my phone died. It's definitely not what happened. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're a dirty, dirty liar. So, what was I saying? Yay! My chat's appearing on screen! That's been set up since the first time I did the stream. And it's not been working, and I've been rather upset that it's not working. Spent ages trying to fix it, rewrote some custom code and everything. I blame Streamlabs, personally. Whoever recommended that to me. Terrible. But yes, anyway, where was I when it cut out? Because I'm sure I was probably mid-sentence. Something about dap old terriers, probably, in Engage, and how amazing they are. And everyone had a terrier. Excellent. Back up to 6 viewers again, so I'm guessing everyone stuck around for my outage. How's this coming along? It's not quite dry yet. It's probably dry enough for us to work though. Let's clean these up. These two are fine, I can't even tell which side they came off. I do Engage when I'm with Club, exhibiting the Engage layout. You're aware of this, Luke. I've even posted pictures of Engage terriers in places. None of them are mine. And I mean, I couldn't really speak for the quality of the actual product, but they're terriers, so therefore they are amazing. Like every other terrier. So is there anything good in 00 gauge? Because that's the best scale. Maybe you should, Luke. Or maybe you should just save your streams you do over on Twitch and put them over onto YouTube like you were originally planning. But just remember, Luke, Alex has Monday through Saturday, I have Sundays. So you have to pick another day. That's just how it works. So not enough for you to move over to 00 and model in a proper gauge then? I mean, you say this, Luke, but you're all sat here, you know, there's 7 viewers here watching me build a breakdown. People do want to learn about these things. So if you're going to work on them and you can teach people things, then it can work. Don't tell him what livery it is though, Luke. Because he might not be quite as impressed at that. No, Mr. Moderator, it's me that has a blue 57. Let's have a green one. And a black one with no cab. That says 27 something on the side. But it's still a 57 because it's a pannier. Right, let's construct a body. That sounded really serial killer-y. A lot more serial killer-y than I wanted it to sound. This is where I should have bought some toothpicks, but I didn't. And on the total non-serial killer fan, sometimes it's easier to just chop off their head than stripping all the fur off of it. It really has turned dark quickly, hasn't it? So, side goes together, and we're just going to plonk it on the edge of the glass like that, because that keeps our corner square. I'd normally have something much smaller to do this, but there it is. I normally use this to do my corners. You don't teach us nothing, Alex. You teach me all about pirates in games that I've never played before. Oh, so did you miss the comment about bodies then, Luke? Because, you know, we didn't go all serial killer-y for a bit. So yes, with my cotton bud that has its head cut off, I'm just running some beads of super glue. That went well. That went really well. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Because now I have to bring these apart to line this corner up as well. And this is just going terribly. No, there was no comment about serial killers as such. I said it was time for us to construct a body, and then I started talking about cutting the heads off things. So, you know, the stream just went really dark and serial killer-y for a minute. But there weren't actually any serial killers because I was cutting the head off a cotton bud and I'm constructing the body of a brake van. Yeah, I can't see the like button, but if it is looking lonely, go show it some love. It's got some real anxiety issues, that like button. Along with certain other people. Can't think who. Of course, the alternate way of doing this is rather than using the cotton bud, you dip the part in like this. This can be a lot messier, but I do want to show you guys alternate ways of doing things. Oh, hello, Killian. How are you? You've just missed a brake van appear, kind of. Glue's still quite wet though. Yeah, I did think you would like the pannier, really, Mr. Moderator. I used to enjoy that film a lot more before it became the butt of a joke on Castle Aiken, but there we go. And now we see a wild Gary at the stage where everything goes wrong and you all laugh at him. Feel free to laugh if it all goes wrong, by the way. But you also missed us having a look at the baseboards for the new layouts, Killian. Which I have the track plan stuck on the wall in front of me, but you can't quite see it this week. It has changed since last week's track plan, but have no fear, I can grab the layout back over in a second. It's not heavy. And you can cast your opinion over it. This is about how well this bit normally goes for me. So enlighten us, Alex. Why is the Railway Children one the Cadbury one? Ah, I see. This one might not fit. I might have to cut out a new one for this. Yeah, I will. But that's not a problem. We can just set that over there for now. Put that back. Put the tools down. And I shall grab the baseboard again. Which with some careful manoeuvring, we'll go round the microphone and the camera and under my clipboard and not smash my lights. And so we have some nice laser cut baseboards. Working a slightly modified 533 Inglenook. No, it's not on the breakdown, don't worry. I checked that. Checked it again, it's definitely not on the breakdown. So we have a road for a train to bring in a bunch of wagons, which can be left here and the loco can run round and shunt them into the 5 wagon siding before leaving us again. We then have a siding here which will hold a separate privately owned engine which can then shunt our 533 Inglenook. Once that is done, it can go back in its siding and our mainline engine can come back out, collect the wagons and be off again. It's going to be based around a quarry because the Oak Hill branch had a quarry added to it some time ago by Mr. Sen, and I've decided to go with that, hence the new name of the thread on RMWeb. I'm not sure what to do with it scenically yet, but the plan is that all the stock for this layout and this layout will all be built on live streams, so we can learn everything together. Admittedly, some of it I already know, some of it I don't. And the layout should then hopefully, in theory, be able to be taken to an exhibition as a small item for children to be able to come and play and do some shunting and get some more people interested in the hobby. The baseboards are laser cut by Scale Model Scenery, and I actually got them off eBay with a storage box that is exactly the right size for the layout to sit in one piece without having to be dismantled, which is brilliant. Let's face it, there's not many times you see that. I believe the idea was originally covered in BRM, possibly over Christmas. I mean, I can do the couplings for them, Luke. But depending on their age, I don't see any reason not to. Free links aren't big scary things, they're nice and easy. Yeah, if you could please send me a link to that, Alex, that would be most helpful. Because scenic wise, I'm really not sure what to do with it. So I have had some ideas from other people, but right now I don't know. So yeah, that is the long-term plan for these streams, is to have a layout and all its stock. Depending on the availability of kits, that might include some engines. I did think that it was possible that maybe a certain engine named Thunderbolt had ended up on here, since I have that kit. Oh, good, Mr. Lank. You just need more practice or the right tools to do it with, Luke. They're really not as hard as you think. I think it's more you expect to not be able to do them than you can't do them. Right. Let's get this back out the way for now. Push this side that's not glued on yet back on, because that is where the hole needs cutting for the... Hit the microphone again. Needs cutting for the fiddle yard, is what I was going to say. So he's just going to give you locos and a loco and some wagons that you could, if you wanted to, just sell off straight away. Interesting. So, brake vans. Whilst we're waiting for that, got a chassis to play with. We'll let that finish drying and we'll get these really, really wonderful plastic wheels that Hornby put in them. Yeah, Hornby. And we'll take these wheels and get rid of them. Because let's face it, no one wants them. And then we'll get these nice hook and loop couplings. Because no one wants them either. In fact, I don't know why I'm doing this with a knife blade in. This would be better with the saw blade. Yes, well, the problem with helping me come and operate my exhibition layout is, you know, it needs to kind of be built first. I mean, it has the track works. But it doesn't have any C-links yet, unless you count all those drawings I did on it with a Sharpie as C-links. I for one don't. No, I don't think I've seen that layout, Alex. I shall enjoy looking at that. There's just one problem. I plan on this being a 00 layout, and you're sending me links to a 009 one, and you're going to get me all inspired to run my 009 stock on it and change everything. Looks so much better already, and all I've done is take those horrible couplings off. I do have a set of metal wheels for it, by the way. Split spokes, I think they're Bachmann. So also on this, I'm going to change back over to the knife blade. And take off the moulded coupling hooks, because they are going to be no good to us with the finished product. We're going to put some working free links on it. And on this chassis we even have the bars running down the middle for the couplings. They're no good for us either, because they will get in the way. So I'm just going to cut them out. And I'm going to have to cut out most of this middle section to accommodate the couplings as well. Let's have a look. Fresh packet, haven't even been opened yet. Smiths, I use Smiths couplings for everything. And these are their LP1 etched brass 3 links, which, well, that's the entire instructions. There's really not a lot to it. But if we have a look at what they come with, so these are ceramic ones, there'll be no, they've not got any super glue on them. So there is our hook, which, as you can see, has a thicker set. Bye then! Amazingly, I can still find these things. So that is our hook, which has a thicker section that sits outside the buffer beam, and everything behind that sits inside the buffer beam. So looking at this, it is everything just behind, up to just behind where the old coupling was, needs to come off, because we shall have a spring on here and a split pin through to hold that in place. This is a 2-piece chassis. This isn't moulded onto the main outside bit. I wonder if I could pop that out to make my life easier. Well, I've not seen it done like this before. How interesting. Not made my life as much easier as I wanted though, if I'm being honest. You don't want KDs. They don't look anything like British couplings. You might as well stick with tension locks. So now, that is cut back far enough. Is it, however, wide enough? No, not a chance. So these side sections need to come out as well. Oh good, that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted it to snap. Just when you thought I was good at this, but you were wrong. They don't work You can't couple KDs on a corner. They don't work. They are just as ugly as tension locks, but they don't do as much. Tension locks work better. Don't think you realise how dirty you're making me feel by having to defend tension locks. Makes me feel very dirty. PG stream, remember. Feel like throwing that in there now before any comments are made. I can make tension locks do anything a KD can do, but out the box they already do more. Yeah, that's not going to glue properly. Thankfully this is nice and strong, so this will take enough for the strength for the couplings. Oh good, I really sliced that one. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Indeed, Alex, something is very bad when tension locks are better. I'm leaving as much detail as possible intact on the underside of this chassis. It'll never be seen, but it's nice to know it's there. It's a very, very strange chassis though. But there we go, all back together and definitely not dropped on the floor. Now yeah, this chassis isn't correct for a Brighton brake van, not by a long shot. But the point of this series is to show these things can be done easily. Yes, I'm sure many North American modelers do like KDs. They're a lot more prototypical for North America than they are for British. Oh look, I just saw myself kick the camera. What we like size-wise for this drill bit, because it's the only one I've got. No, it's not the only one I've got, it's the smallest one I've got, that'll be fine. You're supposed to use, I believe, a 0.5. Yeah, a 0.5. That's not happening. My drill won't accept one that small because the chuck is broken. We are, however, bringing the vice over. I have many vices, but this is a PG stream, so you only get to see this one. Oh, that's got to sit really high in there. That's okay, we're not trying to squeeze it tight, we just want it to stay upright for the drill. That'll do. I'm going to file this lump down. Well, when I say this lump, I just mean where the old hook was. There is the end of the old hook there, and it's going to cause the drill to slip. So I'm just going to flatten that out. You know what? If I could have a live steam terrier, I would. I want to go that far down that hole. Now I'm just here using this to gauge roughly where I need to drill the holes to get the coupling hook in the right position. It's already off, but that's okay because we can take this file, stab the top a little bit. No, we're not even getting a good purchase with that. We'll start it off with the knife. We'll just make some tiny, tiny pilot holes. Who said I want a live steam 00 terrier? I want to go much bigger than that. So now I'm just going to use the file to open up my pilot holes a little bit. I'm going to get the coupling hook back. Hello, Linny. I have a 7 1/4 line near me. I would like a terrier for that. The pilot holes made, the Archimedes drill can then do its thing. Yeah, I was, yeah. If I could afford it. When the wheels are squeaking on a wagon, what can I do to remedy it? Oil. Just a tiny bit into each axle box. That should remedy that. Much easier in 00 than N, I might like to add. Proper scale and all that. You can see things. So I found a disadvantage to this design of chassis. And it takes forever to drill a hole in it. Because of course it's 2 layers thick. And someone that's almost as thick, I mean, snapped it, didn't they? So what we're going to do here is snap it a little bit more. This is a Hornby wagon chassis of a design I haven't seen before, in that the sole bars and buffer beams are not connected to the main section of the chassis. So this all pops out. I've not seen one like this before. But in fact, clamping it in the vise would probably be easier. Without that there. Yes, Mr. Lancaster, this is a PG stream, and you are the moderator of said stream. So if you could not make those jokes that I know you so desperately want to. Now let's see if this fits yet. I don't think it will, but we shall try. Oh, it's close. It's okay, there's no blood. And I didn't have to mute the microphone. Let's at least put it the right way up. No, it's not quite enough to be able to open it up with that. If you get these close enough, you can open them up slightly with the coupling. Ah, that's good. That's the end of the file, snapped off in the hole. No, it's still not there, unfortunately. No, tomorrow night is Alex's night, Luke. You can't do that to poor Alex. You need to turn up to his stream and support him. It's twitch.tv/Alex the Mole. Not sponsored. I don't know. I don't know what Alex is planning on streaming tomorrow. Crusader Kings seems to be gone from the listings now. Should be sponsored, should it, Alex? Well, in that case, I'll have a word with this Alex the Mole character about what he's paying me for that plug then, shall I? Opening up the buffer beams is the fiddliest part of fitting free links. And I've still got to make the free links. Not anymore, you're not, Mr. Lancaster. You said you are not going to stream on Fridays anymore. You're going for Tuesdays. If you could remember your own schedule, please. Yeah, it's a shame CK2 doesn't do well with views, as I enjoyed watching that. But of course, I can't be there for most of the stream. Well, hey, look, we've got a hook that fits through a hole. So if you do Train Sim World tomorrow, can we see this locomotive you keep telling us about that you're driving with wooden brake shoes and other such things? Time for them to pass on? You mean it'll just be me and you sitting on Discord instead of me and you sitting alone in chat on a stream? Oh, it was worth a try, eh, Alex? It's not, the new route they've just released for Train Sim, is it, Alex? Mr. Lancaster, if you would like to promote your stream in my chat, feel free to promote your stream in my chat, even though I'm definitely not sponsored. But you do promote me in your streams and videos, so please do. That's not the tool I want, this is the tool I want. What? The tool is sitting in the chair? What do you mean? Oh yes, he's good when he turns up to have a chat with. Well, of course he has cookies, Alex. He streams on YouTube, so I had to accept cookies at some point. Keep swapping, so I'm trying to do both holes at the same time, so we don't end up slipping into one and making a really small hole. Just want to remind everyone this stream is still PG, no matter what you see in front of you. Especially Mr. Moderator. There we go, we're through. Now we just have to join those holes together. A lot of ice back where it lives, over out my way. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, Alex. But I see your point. I'm worried people might get the wrong idea about me from my stream. I don't not swear in real life anywhere near as much as I don't swear on this stream. As Mr. Lancaster can tell you. Well, that went well. This is where you get to laugh. Because reasons. That went fantastically. I'm about to watch it on the screen. There we go. Boom. However, I am not one to give up. Merely see an opportunity. I can clean up the inside of this hole much easier with a knife whilst the chassis is in 2 pieces. And I can use the bit that pops out the middle with some soup. Gets better, doesn't it? With some super glue. And we will fix this. Okay. Accidents happen. There was a song about that in some Thomas film. And let's face it, on Sodor, accidents do happen. A lot. But we can fix this, it's fine. Absolutely fine. We wait for the world's slowest super glue to pour out. Come on, super glue. What happened, Luke? That happened. Everything went really, really well. It exactly as planned. That's what happened. You could say things went fantastically well. Other words that start with the same letter. However, it does appear at this point that this design of chassis is kind of quite good for this. It seems to hold itself together quite well, just clipped. Remember when I said that making the holes in the chassis was the hardest part of free links? I meant it. No, things didn't get distinctly boring. This isn't an aircraft. Put weight there. Right. Now I'm going to file the Made in England under the Hornby off of the bottom of the buffer beams. Have I considered tension locks? There is enough tension keeping the stream PG. How's that? We're going to take some scrap plasticard. Perfect. Just drop that in our super glue. Put it along the bottom of the buffer beam, where it should get stuck to my finger. Where's my metal pliers? Tweezers even. To use the pliers, I don't want to get super glue on the ceramic ones. I can see the metal tweezers now. They're here. Get another piece of scrap plasticard. In Into the super glue you go. And across the bottom of this buffer beam. There, see? Fixed. Everything went fine. It's a shame I only have Coke and work in the morning. Still not sponsored. I'm going to put a bit more glue under the bits that are under the buffer beam so I can see them peeling off already. Come on, super glue. Well, yeah. As I said repeatedly last week, don't think you can't scratch build because things have gone wrong for you in the past. Things go wrong, it happens a lot. It's how you deal with it that matters. Look at what you've got in front of you and think, how can I make that to be the thing it was meant to be? No, it's not that the nozzle needs clearing. The nozzle is fine. It's really old super glue and it's starting to solidify inside the thing. Oh look, there's my bottom of my buffer beam. That went well. The nozzle's plenty open. The problem is the super glue runs very, very, very slowly because it's old. In fact, my drill, as is, fits down the hole already. What it would be worth doing is opening the new one and using that instead because the glue is a lot runnier. You see, there's the problem, Linny. This idea of spending money on a new bottle of super glue. These bottles cost like 25p each. And I'm extremely tight. And I even managed to reword that from what I was going to say. Obviously I'm calming down. Get the super glue off the tweezers. Ouch, that hurt my ears, never mind yours. I hope you're not using headphones. Let's build some free links, why not? Sit there and dry, chassis. So the first thing we need for free links is free links. I bet you're all really shocked by that. I get my super glue from Poundland. I get 4 bottles of it for £1. Therefore, it's 25p a bottle. Oh, this might be easier by hand. You see, the nice people at Smith's supply these with the loops closed. So you have to bend it out. To get your links through. So that you can close it again. Free links. And you need an end one that you can bend out so that they can go through this hole on the hook. And as you can see, that was a lot easier and less fiddly than making the holes. So now we need another 3 links. And we repeat the procedure. To give us a second hook with 3 links attached. This chassis is feeling reasonably strong now. So we can thread a coupling through. At times like this I wish I could see the camera, to make sure you can see what I'm doing. Spring goes on there. Doing my best to make you be able to see this, but I can't make any promises. The spring needs to be compressed and the split pin goes through the hole, or in this case half of it does. There we go. And now we have 1 free link sat way too far back because that hole has become too big. That is the one we were making when the chassis snapped, in case you were wondering. But it's good, it works, it's fine. And now we'll do the same on the other side. Oh, thank you. That's what I wanted, for you to not go through properly, because you feel like you've snapped the thing again. Yes, yes you have. Brilliant. But look, I can put some wheels in. Some nice metal wheels. And I can stick a body on top. And not break it at all. Nope, nothing breaking. And we have a brake van. Kind of. Mostly. Alright, thanks for coming, Killian. Good to see you around. I shall be ending the stream soon anyway. Probably another 20 minutes or so. But there we go. A brake van. Kind of. Everything went exactly as planned. Thank you, Alex. I am actually quite pleased with how it looks, all things considered. I will probably rip that chassis apart again and try and fix it properly. Typical Brighton build quality, eh, Mr. Moderator? Let's see you do better then. In any gauge you want, let's see you do better. Well, I laughed. I must be feeling better. We can sit next to our other one and look at how it doesn't fall apart at all. It's awesome. Everything is awesome. Let's bring this over here and then fetch this bit of the body. I can tell you now that's happened because I didn't give it long enough to set. And the reason I didn't give it long enough to set is because I wanted to see it on the chassis, because that seemed like a good place to get to tonight after the chassis break-in. Couplings in and the body on, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to fix the body now. When the slowly super glue comes along. Oh, this is why I wanted to do it live though. I wanted a full warts and all of how modelling goes for everyone. I didn't want everything to go perfect first time, because that's not what modelling is. You know, for the last few years, everyone has seen my modelling on RMWeb. But you see it from the angle I want you to see it. You see the finished product after all this has gone wrong, and you see it positioned very carefully with the light done properly. And everyone tells me how great I am at it because I position it and I make it look that way through photos. And everyone tells me how amazingly skilled I must be. So I wanted to do something where you got a warts and all breakdown of my modelling and exactly how well it goes. I didn't want to come on here and give you all the impression everything goes right first time, because that wouldn't be right. You know, most of my roof supports have fallen out. I didn't give the body time to set. I wanted to see it on the chassis. These things happen. But we did see that tonight. We have a chassis and we had a body on it. And to me, that's a win. And next week we will get some paint on this. we'll get the roof on, we'll get some paint on. The chassis may still need some work. It needs cosmetic sole bars doing for starters, because those metal ones it has are no good. But no, I think tonight's gone well, even with the issues we've had. Yeah, so yes, I certainly have the experience to say, oh well, I can fix this. But I only have the experience to mean I don't get despondent and give up, because I've had this happen so many times and I haven't given up. I have persevered. There are projects that are stalled that I've become despondent with because so many things have gone wrong. But the key thing is just to remember it can be fixed. Especially with scratch building. When you're scratch building, everything can be fixed. If a part snaps in half, well, you've made that part, you can make another one. It's not the end of the world. If the end of your brake van falls off, you can just glue it back on again. You know how it works. So yeah, modelling wise there's certainly been some issues tonight, but nothing that's going to get me down about this project. It's going well. I mean, we've done 6 hours work, there's been a lot of time stopped chatting to you guys, but we have an almost finished breakdown and we have a layout plan. I don't think that's bad for 6 hours. But for now, at 10 to midnight, I think I'm going to call it there. Because I need to let the glue set on everything now. So, good night everyone. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you all again next week, when we can get some paint on, we can get the roof on, get some paint on the brake van. I already have all the paint sat here ready for it. So, good night all, sleep well, and speak soon.